What happened?
My fruit that I bought yesterday, it got tossed away.
Oh,
I brought it so I could eat it and not go to waste. But that mean lady threw it away.
They wouldn't
Said
let-
I should not bring it.
they wouldn't let it through security.
It
So
just makes me really upset to waste food.
Mhm.
Fruit. It's all good.
heading to Kauai though.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to part 2 of our Hawaii trip, where we explore the Garden Isle of Kauai. This is the oldest of the Hawaiian Islands and is known for its lush tropical rainforest and stunning natural formations such as the world-famous Nāpali coast. It has even served as the backdrop for several major Hollywood movies. Now, we only had about 2.5 days on the island, so we wanted to make the most of it and try to fit in as many hikes and adventures as we could, while also filming it all. That way you can come along on the adventure with us. This is our Wild Kauai vlog. After landing, we had to go check out the local grub and fuel up before our first hike. So we made a stop at this restaurant we found on TripAdvisor called Russell's. This restaurant is entirely plant-based and in our opinion has the best food on the island. If you go here, we highly recommend the Thai iced tea, which looks and tastes amazing. And for food, you can't go wrong with the Tex-Mex burrito or the cheesiest, flakiest sandwich. And yeah, that's the actual name. After eating though, we were now ready for a hike, so we headed out to the Cuilau Ridge Trail. The Kuilau Ridge Trail is a fairly easy hike at only 3.6 miles long. It's mostly flat, which makes it a great hike for families or those just not looking for something too difficult. It doesn't skimp on the views though, and is an awesome hike if you want to experience the jungles of Kauai. The landscape is honestly unreal, and we legit felt like we were in Jurassic Park or Jumanji. It can be a little muddy considering it is a rainforest after all, so make sure to wear shoes and clothing that you don't mind getting a little dirty. All in all though, we really enjoyed this hike and would absolutely recommend it. After hiking, it was finally time to check into our Airbnb. We had been sleeping on a friend's couch the last few days on Oahu, which, don't get me wrong, we are very grateful for, but let's just say we were super excited to actually have a real bed and a room to ourselves. We found this place on Airbnb extremely last minute, and we were blown away at how nice it was. It's really close to the airport, and we love the decorations and the vibe of the place. I'll put a link in the description below in case you are looking for a place to stay on Kauai. We were so excited to actually have our own place that we decided to just have a relaxing night in with some food and cold drinks. After all, tomorrow was our only full day on Kauai, and we had a lot planned, including an early morning sunrise hike. Good morning, guys. It is 5:30. It's still dark out. I can hear the roosters. We're about to do this hike called Sleeping Giant, and we're hoping to get up there by sunrise, which is in about an hour. So we got our headlamps on, and I'm gonna try to make it to the top in an hour in the dark. We'll see if that happens or not, but hoping to get some really pretty sunrise views. But we gotta get going because we're getting low on time. We'll see you there. Sleeping Giant is 3.4 miles round trip, which meant we had to hike 1.7 miles to the top in the dark while climbing roughly 1,000 feet of elevation. And with less than an hour until sunrise, we had no time to waste. The race was on. and just in the nick of time, we finally reached the peak. The real reward, however, came just minutes later as the golden light began to peek over the horizon. This is one sunrise we will never forget. Although I am not a morning person, I never regret waking up to watch the sunrise. There really is something magical about it. Perhaps it's the reminder that even in the darkest of times, the sun will eventually rise and bring forth a fresh start and new opportunities. But honestly, I think what I love most about sunrises is that just like people, no two are ever the same. Each one has its own unique beauty and magic that it brings into the world. And although it's only here for a short time, this forces you to cherish the moment and the miracle of it all the more. After our sunrise hike, it was time for breakfast. So we went back to Russell's. Yes, the same place from yesterday. Don't judge us, it was that good. And we even made a new friend while we were there. As we enjoyed our coffee and our breakfast, we started to plan the next hike. We really wanted to see a waterfall while on Kauai, so we looked up a nearby hike on all trails that supposedly leads to a hidden waterfall. And off we went on our next adventure to the Hopi Falls Trail. Hopi Falls is a 2.4 mile hike and was actually one of the filming locations used in Jurassic Park. This hike is moderate, but it's not really well marked or maintained, which meant climbing over and under lots of trees and obstacles. Honestly though, I think this made it even more fun and exciting. The trail actually leads to two different waterfalls, the first of which is larger and is a great spot to jump in. I have heard though that the water may not be the most sanitary, so jump at your own risk. All in all though, it was a really fun and easy hike. After drying off, we headed back to the car on a mission to complete one final hike, Kalepa Ridge Trail. This was one of my most anticipated hikes of the entire trip, as it's known for having stunning views of the Nāpali coast. But first, we had a scenic 2-hour drive to the north side of the island and into the Waimea Canyon State Park. In case you haven't heard of this is also known as the Grand Canyon of Hawaii, and I gotta say, it's truly deserving of its name. The footage honestly doesn't do it justice. And the best part, you can get these amazing views just from pulling over on the side of the road without even having to go on a hike. This is definitely a must-see while in Kauai. Now unfortunately, we didn't have much time to spend here since the sun was getting low and we still had a hike to complete. So we continued on towards our final hike of the trip. Kalepa Ridge Trail is only about 2 miles long, but it is rated as difficult and only recommended for experienced hikers. It's very steep and slick at parts and has you walking literally right along the edge of some giant cliffs. Definitely not for the faint of heart. Due to this, and the fact that she had rolled her ankle on the previous hike, Donna came to the difficult decision to sit this one out. And so, I headed out solo on one last hike. Kalepa Ridge hike. View unreal. Unreal. Ow. As I neared the end of the trail, I couldn't help thinking about how much Donna would enjoy this view. And although I was having a blast, it just wasn't the same without her. It was right about this time that I happened to look back and saw someone else walking down the trail. Yeah, guess who decided to come along after all? It turns out, as Donna sat in the car waiting for me, she decided that nothing, including a sore ankle, was going to keep her from this hike. And so, we continued on together to what would be the perfect way to end the day. Alright guys, we just got done hiking Kalepa Ridge. It was absolutely gorgeous, one of my favorite hikes I've ever done. We watched sunset. Now we have to hike back in the dark though. It's about a mile hike, but it's super sketch. We're literally on the side of a mountain and there's like not much grip. We're walking on sand that just kind of slips below you. But we got a headlamp and got my phone flashlight and we're gonna go extra slow. But it was totally worth it. I guess we'll see you there, hopefully. For our last day on Kauai, we saved the best for last. A private, doors-off helicopter ride around the island. We had been looking forward to this for the longest time and could not wait to get in the air and see a different perspective of the island. So we headed over to Mauna Loa Helicopter Tours to check in for our flight. As we waited for the helicopter to be ready, we grabbed some iced coffee and avocado toast from this really good food truck in the same plaza. It was super delicious.
Toast.
Got pesto.
Vegan pesto.
Nice. Sourdough bread. What is it, 10 out of 10? From there, we headed to the airport for what would hopefully be an unforgettable experience. We waited with anticipation on the tarmac until it was finally time for our takeoff. So, as I'm sure you can tell, this isn't actually footage of us. So our helicopter tour got canceled. Apparently there's really bad weather and it's just too risky, which I get. Still a little disappointed because we were really looking forward to that, but you know, it is what it is. We want to be safe. They offered to reschedule, but we fly out today, so obviously we could not reschedule it for a different day. So I think we're gonna go back to the Airbnb, start packing up anyways, because checkout is soon, and then find something to do. We're not sure. Maybe do a hike, maybe hit the beach, maybe just drive around, but we'll find out. Since we only had a few hours before our flight, we decided to take advantage of our Airbnb's pool and just chill and catch some rays. This definitely wasn't how we envisioned our last day on Kauai and our epic helicopter ride, but you know what they say about the best laid plans and all that. After checking out of our Airbnb, we made one last stop to grab some food before heading to the airport to catch our flight back to Oahu, where we would spend our last 3 days of our trip. Although our time on Kauai was over, we were leaving with memories to last a lifetime and a newfound appreciation for this beautiful island. That's it for this vlog though. If you did make it all the way to the end of the video, please do us a huge favor and hit that like button. And also go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more awesome travel videos, because we have a lot more coming. We're going to be releasing the final part of our Hawaii trip shortly, where we go on the most difficult and epic hike yet. And we have lots more exciting travel plans planned for after that, so stay tuned. Oh, and in case you haven't already seen it, go check out part 1 of our Hawaii trip. I'll put a link below. Thanks again for watching though, and as always, stay wild.